great catching up with my next guest. It's been a while, and it's good to see him back in action. He's going to be fighting at Unified 49 coming up here December 17th. It's Nick Hrabec back here on the program. Nick, how are you, man?
I'm great, James. How are you doing, buddy?
Doing awesome, but I'm not fighting in a few days here, man. We're really looking forward to it. Just first and foremost, tell me when you found out about the opportunity and how excited were you to get this rematch?
Well, it's not a rematch anymore because my opponent changed. I'm now fighting Smith, but I was excited to fight B-Rang, but I think he got injured or something happened, so he pulled out. And the opportunity happened where Tim's fight got canceled in Calgary, and it just lined up. And now I'm fighting Tim Smith, a veteran, and it should be a fun one.
And did you kind of figure when Tim's situation sort of happened with his opponent that you guys were going to be matched up? Was this something you thought was a possibility?
No, not at all. I just saw that his fight was canceled, and then I think about a week later, I got a call from the promoter, and he said that B-Rang's out. He's injured. He injured his knee. And then he said, but I have a replacement, Tim. And just the way it worked out, I think this fight excites me a little bit more anyways. So, and I think it'll be a fan favorite fight. We're both from Edmonton, so I think it'll be like the people's main event.
That's great. Have you and Tim ever trained together, or is this kind of like a fresh matchup? I'm sure you were aware of each other just being on the scene, right?
Yeah, no, like I've never trained with him, no, never. But when my first event I ever went to in Unified, I think I just turned 18 years old, and I think I saw Tim fight. So I know he's an OG, he's a veteran, and I got nothing but respect for the guy. So I mean, it's pretty cool that we're going to be fighting now. With Unified being on Fight Pass and being one of the biggest stages in Canada, I'm excited.
You've been on quite the roll, man. I think 4-1 in your last 5 fights. What do you attribute that to? What do you sort of factor in, or what's sort of been the biggest factor for your success in your opinion?
I think just the gyms I'm training at. You know what I mean? I'm keeping the people I'm surrounding myself with that have my best interests. You know, I got the best striking at Wolf House MMA, and some of the best training partners there. And I got some of the best coaches and training partners at Shady Bears MMA, you know? So I think with those two gyms, mixing my striking at Wolf House and then putting my whole MMA game together at Shady Bears, I think that's the recipe. It's a recipe for disaster when I step in that cage, you know what I mean? So I think that's been the huge factors.
How do you feel like you match up against Tim in this fight?
I think it's going to be a good fight. I think it's going to be, I think wherever it goes, I have an advantage. I know he's a gamer. He's going to come. He's going to bring it. But I think my style being so unorthodox and just my style is so tricky, you know, I think I'm going to give him a lot of problems wherever the fight goes. But I know it's going to be a dog fight. He's going to bring it. And I just can't wait to get in there, man.
What about training partners? You mentioned the gyms. Who have you mainly been working with? Who's been helping you get ready for this fight?
I've been sparring with some of the best boxers, amateur boxers in Edmonton for sure. Just with my hands, and then sparring at Shady Bears MMA with, you know, Shane Campbell has been one of my main training partners. All the other guys that are getting ready for Unified, Harley, Matt Clute. I think there's like 7 of us fighting, 7 guys from Shady Bears fighting on there. So all of us who've been getting ready, and that's about it, man. I feel like this has been one of my best camps yet.
I know obviously he's not in your weight class, but I know Tanner Bozer does some training at Shady Bears. What's he like in the gym? Just as a personality, because I know Tanner's a bit of a unique guy.
Oh, he's the man. Tanner's awesome. He's the Shady Bears team captain. You know what I mean? And he's always helping the guys out. Doesn't matter, man, what weight class you are, heavyweight or flyweight. You know, he's always going to give you advice and tell you what you need to do. And Tanner's a great guy, man. Love having him in the gym and love having the support behind them.
Yeah, I've never met anyone like him. He's hilarious in like his own way. He's got, he's a really, I'm sure, fun guy to be around all the time. You mentioned him helping guys out. Do you think coaching is in his future when his career is done? Because it seems like it's, gone quite well for him in terms of what you're telling me here, right?
Oh, for sure. He's so knowledgeable in the sport, you know what I mean? And he has a good eye for things. So I think whatever Tanner wants to do, if he wants to coach after his fighting career, he'll be an amazing coach. Whatever he does will be, he's going to be good at.
Now, this is still at 165. What weight is this at with the switch up?
This fight's at 165. I like that. You know what I mean? I like fighting lightweight guys who fight at 55 and say, let's just fight 165. I have to cut too much weight. So nice. And I was injured before this fight Well, but after my last fight, I got injured when I was out training in Victoria and stuff like that. So this is my first camp back from being injured. So it's going well, and I'm excited to get in there, man.
That's awesome. So and it's nice too. You don't have to focus as much on the cut, right? Getting down to 55, you can kind of enjoy those extra pounds, which is always nice.
Oh, it's a treat being at 160, fighting at 165, because my diet's I always eat clean, but if I want to have some snacks at nighttime, I can do that. It's not going to mess with my weight, my metabolism. So it's a treat. I definitely enjoy the experience fighting at 65, but when I do have to make 55, got to be a little bit more strict. But until then, I'm going to live.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, you mentioned training out in Victoria. Where were you out at, and who'd you get to work with over there?
After my fight in August when I fought Colton, I just went out and trained with my one of my best friends and one of my boys, Phil Ingeroff. So I just went out there for like a vacation and just went to TFA gym and trained there, trained with my buddy Phil, and just kind of relaxed out there. But that's when I unfortunately injured myself and then came back and it got worse. So, but we're healed up and we're ready to go.
Yeah, no, we're excited. Just a few days away. Your corner, who will be in the cage with you that night?
Usually I have Parvez and Coach Jeff from Shave Bears MMA, but I think he's working there. So I think and usually I have Ryan as well, but he's on vacation. So it'll probably be Parvez, Jeet, and Phil's coming down from Victoria to watch my fight. So I'll have him in the corner. He's one of my best friends. He's always been there with me from the start. So that's who will be in my corner.
How do you see this fight playing out on December 17th? What's your prediction?
I see a finish. I see a finish which way it goes on the ground. My jiu-jitsu is so underrated. My striking. I think we're going to see a finish in the second round, I think.
Love it. All right, man. That's great. And you mentioned.
I know there will be
go
a
ahead.
finish. I know there will be a finish. I just don't know what round, but there will be a finish.
Yeah, that's good. You don't get paid by the hour, right? You might as well go in there and get out of there as soon as you can. You mentioned it there. This is obviously Unified's been doing. I mean, they're the most active promotion in Canada. They're on Fight Pass. A lot of eyeballs on this card in particular. Where does a win put you here? Because again, I mentioned it there. You're 4-1 in your last 5. That would be 5-1 in your last 6 if you go out there and get the win. What's ahead for you if you get this win here?
If my boy Shane Campbell's going to handle business on the 16th, and I'm sure that he's just too good, man. Get that guy back in the UFC. That's my boy. You know what I mean? Let him get back in the UFC, and I'm sure he'd love to pass the torch to me and let me fight for that 55 title against somebody. Doesn't matter who, right? But I know he'd love to pass the torch. Shane's been an OG and one of my. It's been there from the start of my career, literally from 18 years old to now. So that's what I hope will happen.
Downtime. What have you been up to outside of camp? You're watching the Oilers. What have you been up to as far as other things outside of fighting?
Just relaxing, hanging time with the family, being with my girl, you know what I mean? Just really hang with the family. And then on the weekends, my Sundays, I like to watch my football, Raider Nation.
Who's your team?
Raiders, baby. Raiders all day, but it's been rough this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, it hasn't been smooth sailing, but man, those uniforms, I still think the best in the NFL, right? Doesn't beat the Raiders uniforms.
Oh, 100%, man. Now we got Devontae Adams and all that stuff. We just got to capitalize and win these games, and hopefully next year, because I don't think we're making the playoffs this year.
Yeah, it's looking grim, but I'll tell you what's not looking grim. This card, man, Unified 49, December 17th, live on UFC Fight Pass. Nick, it is good to catch up with you. It's been a few years, but never too late to do an interview, man. It's always good to catch up. If there's anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, man. I've just thanks James for having me on the show, and I'd just like to shout out to all my coaches and training partners at Wolf House and Shave Bears MMA. Thank you so much. Sponsors, Carrot for meal prepping, Riverstone Wellness for all my physio, and let me use their pod. Task Concrete sponsor me, Elite Auto. Who else I'm missing? Strapped Apparel, wearing their hoodie right now. Shout out Landon, and yeah, everyone that's ever supported me. Thank you so much. Can't wait to shine. December 17th. That's my birthday too, so I'm going to bring it.